Hey wrestling fans, this is Rick from rickswrestlingblog.com. I want to talk to you a little bit about Monday Night Raw. We're looking towards Survivor Series that's coming up just a couple weeks away. And, keeping an eye on Raw to see what's going on, to see what's leading up, to see what our main event matches are going to be here, and all these supporting matches, of course. And, so far we only have, the only thing that we really know as of this recording is that John Cena will defend the title against Alberto Del Rio, and Randy Orton is defending his title against the Big Show. But I want to talk about Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night Raw actually turned out to be pretty good. Especially the ending was something that I've actually been waiting for a while. Didn't think it would happen this soon, but you can kind of get a little taste of it. So let's just start from the beginning. I'm not going to pinpoint everything. I just want to talk about certain things. So, for example, the Authority was on vacation, which honestly was good, because if you think about it, the Authority's been there week after week after week, and being a wrestling fan, after a while I get a little bit bored of the same thing. So I'm kind of glad they kind of took a week off, because at that point it keeps it a little more fresh, So, of course, now you got Guerrero, Maddox, and Kane battling with, who's going to be the boss of the night. So, which, that was kind of completely useless. But, hey, it was a decent segment. Anyway, Cody Rhodes came out and took on the Rhodes brothers, Goldust and Cody Rhodes. I don't like when they do these kind of matches, though, 2 against 1. Mostly because a lot of times it's that one person that will actually win the match. Now, and it depends, but in this case, you've got Cody Rhodes and Goldust, who are some pretty big players right now. You don't want them to look bad. So, it turned out to be a pretty good match. Turned out to be, there was no, Randy Orton got counted out, but, hey. Anyway, that wasn't the big thing. The big thing was that Big Show came in, showed up, and just pounded on Orton and slammed him through the table. All good stuff. The only thing is that you can see how when they took Daniel Bryan out of the main event picture, they're now taking Big Show and boosting him up. But I gotta tell you, I've been watching Big Show since he was in the WCW. So, as the Giants over there. So, I tell you what, having a guy like him who's been with the WWE for like forever to come in and now take the top spot, he's going to be the main event at SummerSlam. I got to be honest, I'm not excited about it. Still going to be a decent match, but I'm not excited about it. All right, so it was cool what he did, but it's still the Big Show. Anyway, listen, something I got really excited about was that Curtis Axel came out and defended his title against Dolph Ziggler, and this time Curtis Axel actually won the match, and this was great because Axel doesn't really beat anybody, okay? So, he has a tough time with Kofi and R-Truth, and you've heard me say this I don't know how many times already, but he has so many issues with these guys, and he eventually beats them. But when it comes to anybody else, Dolph Ziggler beat him last week. Anybody else that he fights against, he loses. It could be mostly by a pinfall, but he just doesn't look good as the champion. But in this match, for the first time since I've seen him, since he came up with Paul Heyman, for the first time, in my opinion, this was his greatest victory. He won the match without interference, without really cheating, doing nothing. He won this match, and it was a good battle. So, this is the kind of match that Axel needs to win. Of course, he took a beating a little while later from CM Punk, but hey, whatever. I'm just glad he won that match, and he needs more. He needs more of those things. I don't even want to talk about the Cena match, because who really cares versus the Real Americans? If you're gonna build up a team like the Real Americans, why are you gonna have them get a beatdown from John Cena? At 2-on-1. Come on, they should have had the advantage, right? Something that's got me a little perplexed here was I saw Ryback take on R-Truth, and R-Truth beat him. Okay, so either R-Truth has some good friends up there, and somebody really likes him in the back office there, or the front office, I should say. But here's the thing: I think Ryback must have pissed somebody off, because why is Ryback losing to R-Truth? That doesn't make sense. Of course, a little while later, you're gonna have Heyman come on out to the ring, and he actually bashes Ryback. So obviously, it sounds like that whole thing is over with. But I wonder if Ryback's just done I know the WWE wasn't too happy with him, so I've heard things about, for example, sometimes he would injure someone in the ring, which, hey, that can happen, But if you're a little careless about it, plus I guess his people interaction, I guess, is not as great. So hey, if the WWE's had enough of Ryback and they decided, hey, you know what, forget it, we're gonna do this, and they're probably gonna let your contract run out and then not sign you back on. So it's too bad because I think they had something good with Ryback. But we'll see, because if he's just going to continue this losing streak, not going to have Paul Heyman anymore, then obviously he's not going to be boosted to the top. He's just someone that they're going to use up and get beat up and thrown away pretty much. Anyway, listen, a match that came up, Big E Langston versus Del Rio. Not that it was a great match. I don't really so much care for the match, but I like to see that Big E Langston is just getting more pop. Did you see how last week when he was voted by all of us so that he can take on, who was he taking on? Orton. I'm sorry, Orton. Randy Orton. And he won 75% of the vote. I mean, that is awesome. And, you know, this is showing the WWE that, hey, we want to see this guy, that this guy can do stuff. And this was a good opportunity. He put on a good show. And today he put on a pretty good show. So, hey, I'm expecting Big E Langston to land his first title soon. So let's see what it's going to be. If it's US, if it's Intercontinental, I don't know. But I'm betting it's going to be just one of those two. I mentioned that Heyman had come out, which was a big surprise. He came out and he spoke. But I didn't get this because I thought this Heyman CM Punk thing was over with. So here comes CM Punk. It gives him a beatdown. I mean, and then Heyman goes on to say something, you know, that he'll be back and he's gonna be back with the vengeance. Well, what does that mean? That you're coming back against Punk again? I mean, I thought we were ending this and moving on, because right now he's tied up with Daniel Bryan and the Wyatt family. So if this Heyman CM Punk thing is gonna continue, unless you're bringing in a new Heyman guy, which then I'd be interested to watch. But if you're not, what are we going to see? Axel take another beatdown from CM Punk? Happens every single time. Anyway, but the match for tonight, the CM Punk, Daniel Bryan versus The Shield, you know, it was a decent match, but what happened at the end was what was so surprising. That's what I love the most, because the Wyatt family came up, the lights went on, Wyatt family came in, and all of a sudden, you know, The Shield and the Wyatt family find themselves fighting each other. And you can even hear the fans going crazy over this. You can hear them chanting, "This is awesome." And they only got a few hits in there, really, before they got separated. But you can kind of see what an impact a match like this one would be. I mean, I mentioned this, I don't know how many recordings ago, that I'd like to see eventually, probably at a WrestleMania, The Shield and the Wyatt family come together to, you know, fight. And maybe this was just a taste that the WWE wanted to give us, just to see them face off a little bit, just to see how the fans reacted. And you saw how the fans reacted there. I mean, they jumped all over it. I was excited. I was glued to my seat. I wanted to see them all go at it, and I think that was going to be great. Of course, it split off. It looks like they just gave us a taste. And I think the WWE, if they were just doing that just to kind of see how people would react, I think they probably liked that reaction. So I'm still predicting that it's probably going to be Shield versus the Wyatt family at WrestleMania. I think they'll save it for then. We're really not that far away from WrestleMania, so no big deal to start building that up. Besides, right now, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have the Wyatt family in their sights, and they're going at it, so they're going to probably go at it for a little while, okay? So, anyway, it was a great Monday Night Raw. Survivor Series right now is not looking all that great yet, because they haven't really announced the matches. So, we only know about 2 matches, so the World title and then the WWE title. I expect that the Divas title is going to be defended, so it's probably going to be AJ versus Natalia for the title. But I'm expecting they got to have at least one traditional Survivor Series match. Hopefully they'll have a couple of them. And I'm thinking that tag team titles will not be defended. I'm expecting the Rhodes brothers to team up with another team. Maybe go against the Shield. The Usos are in there. The Real Americans are in there. The Wyatts are now in there. So I really would like to see just the Wyatt family versus CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. I hope they don't mix that one up and convert that into a Survivor Series matchup. They may, just to prolong this thing, but who knows. Anyway, Survivor Series as of right now, I mean, it's one of those pay-per-views that I get no matter what. So I will be buying it and I will be watching it and see what happens. As of right now, I've just got no feel for it, because it's really up in the air with all these matches, all these possibilities, what could happen. I'm thinking that it might be Axel to defend the title against Big E Langston, and this is where Big E Langston is going to win his title. I expect the Shield to be in some kind of matchup, but I'm thinking that's going to be a Survivor Series type of matchup. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, and hopefully the next recording that I make, I'll have a lot more information, and we can go ahead and start breaking down the Survivor Series coming up. Thanks a lot.